This moment is not random. It is not an accident that you are here, reading these very words. Something sacred is unfolding in the unseen realm. Heaven has paused everything around you to whisper this truth this Wednesday, December 16th, 2025, will make history in your life. A divine interruption is approaching, and you are standing on holy ground. You have felt the weight of time pressing on you, haven't you? The long wait, the silent prayers, the nights you wondered if heaven had forgotten your name. Yet here you are, called into a moment that has been written into eternity's calendar. The delay you've endured was never denial. It was preparation for this announcement. The hour of activation has arrived. Listen carefully. The Spirit of God is stirring, calling your name, summoning you out of every shadow that tried to convince you that you were ordinary. You were never ordinary. You are a living prophecy wrapped in human form. Every step, every struggle, every scar has been sculpting your soul for this encounter. Do you sense the trembling in the air? The atmosphere itself is shifting. What you thought was coincidence has been divine choreography all along. Heaven has been arranging every detour, every pause, every not yet, to lead you right here, right now. As Jesus himself declared in the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 19, verse 26, "With man this is impossible, but with God all things are possible." This is your confirmation. What looked unchangeable, God is about to change. What seemed final, heaven is rewriting. You've been standing before doors that refuse to open. But this Wednesday, the locks will break, not by force, but by divine favor. You will witness the impossible bend in your direction. Feel it, the alignment between heaven and your life. You've been hidden, not forgotten. The silence was God's shield. While the world overlooked you, heaven observed you. And now, as history bends toward the 16th, the veil begins to lift. There is a reason this message found you. Out of billions of voices, this one reached your ears because the Father wanted to remind you that your timeline is not defined by earthly clocks, but by divine timing. The moment the calendar turns to that Wednesday, an unseen door opens. You will sense it, a lightness in your spirit, a whisper in your soul saying, "It is time." Do not dismiss this as chance. The number on the screen, the sound of these words, the very beat of your heart, all of it aligns with heaven's plan. There is a divine echo in your spirit confirming that this message is for you. You will not go into this Wednesday the same. You will rise in clarity, in confidence, in courage. The anxiety that used to control you will crumble. The confusion that clouded your steps will clear. The shame that whispered you're not enough will lose its voice. God is breathing on you anew. This Wednesday is not merely another date, it is a hinge in your destiny. It is where closed doors open, where faded dreams awaken, where lost strength returns. The earth will not announce it, but heaven already has. Angels are already in motion, preparing what you could not prepare for yourself. So, hear this, you are chosen for this alignment. You are chosen to witness the unfolding of prophecy in your own life. You are chosen to step into a new chapter of victory. And now, you must act. When a divine word is released, faith must respond. Do not let this pass you by in silence. You've waited long enough. You've cried long enough. You've doubted long enough. The moment demands your response. If your spirit agrees, if you sense the truth resonating in your heart, take this as a sign, a holy confirmation that heaven is speaking. Move in obedience, like, share, and subscribe, so you stay connected to every word that flows from this prophetic stream. Let your voice join the sound of faith in this hour. Then, as a prophetic act of agreement, go to the comments and type the number 777, the number of divine completion and heavenly perfection. When you do, you're not just typing digits, you're declaring that the old season has ended and the new has begun. The countdown to Wednesday has already started. Stand ready. Watch how the impossible begins to shift in your favor. And when that day arrives, lift your head high and remember, heaven never misses its mark. You were never behind. You were being positioned. This Wednesday is not about luck. It's about destiny catching up with you, fulfilling promises that have been waiting for your yes. Step into it with bold faith. The atmosphere around you is already shifting. What you speak in faith this week will echo through eternity. Walk forward, knowing this history won't just happen on Wednesday, it will happen through you. You are the turning point heaven has chosen. You were never meant to blend in. You were never designed to walk the same path as everyone else. From the beginning, heaven carved your name into purpose itself. Every fiber of your being carries divine distinction. That's why ordinary things have never satisfied you. Your spirit hungers for more, for meaning that goes beyond the surface of life. You've always sensed it, even when you couldn't explain it, that quiet, knowing that you were set apart. The world tried to label you as strange, intense, too emotional, too different. But those labels were the enemy's way of disguising the truth that your uniqueness is not a flaw but a weapon. You are not like them because you were not called to be them. You carry light that doesn't fit inside the systems of this world. The rejection you felt wasn't rejection at all. It was redirection, pushing you away from imitation and into authenticity. There were times you tried to fit in, didn't you? You lowered your tone, silenced your vision, dimmed your fire just to be accepted. But every time you did, something inside you broke a little. The spirit within you never allowed peace in imitation. You are chosen to stand out, chosen to disrupt darkness, chosen to carry divine weight in human skin. And when heaven chooses someone, comfort often departs, because destiny never grows in easy soil. Your calling makes you restless in the presence of mediocrity. The ordinary frustrates you because your spirit was born for extraordinary movement. You were never supposed to follow trends, you were supposed to set them. That's why people misunderstand you. Your wavelength doesn't align with noise, it vibrates with eternity. Even the battles you faced were evidence of that difference. The warfare over your life has always been heavier than others, hasn't it? The attacks were never random. The enemy doesn't fight what isn't threatening. Every sleepless night, every heartbreak, every delay was the enemy's attempt to silence what heaven was building in you. But he failed. Because chosen ones don't crumble, they evolve. You've been through storms that would have destroyed others. You've stood through seasons that stripped you bare. Yet somehow, you're still here stronger, wiser, and quieter in your power. That's the mark of the chosen. They walk through fire and come out glowing with glory. The fire never consumed you, it refined you. Heaven speaks through the ancient words found in the book of Jeremiah, chapter 1, verse 5. Before I formed you in the womb, I knew you. Before you were born, I set you apart. I appointed you as a prophet to the nations. Let those words sink deep into your spirit. You were known before you were seen, before your first breath. Purpose had already been breathed into your soul. You were set apart not for fame, not for validation, but for impact that shifts generations. God didn't make a mistake when He made you different. He made you distinct to carry a message, a vibration, a light that only you can release. And this difference isn't just spiritual, it echoes through everything you touch. Your creativity, your compassion, your resilience, they are divine fingerprints marking you as heaven's instrument. Even when you didn't understand it, every detour shaped your design. You learned through pain what others only read in books. You gained wisdom through wounds, strength through solitude, vision through loss. It wasn't punishment, it was placement. God was placing you in a position where noise couldn't reach you, so His voice could. You had to be separated to be saturated. The silence that used to haunt you was actually sacred ground where destiny was being whispered. You may not have always understood the cost of being chosen, but soon you will see the reward. The same people who questioned you will witness your elevation. The same places that once broke you will become platforms of testimony. Because when heaven ordains a person, no opposition can erase the anointing. So, don't resent your difference, embrace it. It's your signature, it's your weapon. It's the reason you can walk into a dark room and everything changes. You carry an unseen authority, born not from ego, but from divine election. The energy within you disturbs stagnation and awakens others around you. That's why your presence often causes resistance. Light exposes what's been hiding. You are not misunderstood. You are misinterpreted by those who see only flesh, but not flame. Yet heaven sees. Heaven smiles. Heaven calls your name. Not by your failures, but by your future. You have not even touched the full measure of what you carry. There are nations, ideas, movements locked inside your spirit, waiting for the appointed moment to break forth. And though you may not see the full picture yet, trust this, you are walking in divine order. Even now, as you read these words, heaven is aligning unseen threads around your life, weaving destiny through delay, glory through grief, and meaning through mystery. So, lift your head. You were never meant to be ordinary. You are heaven's disruption, earth's answer, and destiny's fulfillment in motion. You have carried so much, haven't you? The unseen weight of expectations, the hidden pressure of being strong when your heart felt weak. There were moments when you smiled in public but broke in private, when you held everyone else together while your own spirit trembled in silence. But even in that breaking, heaven was watching. Nothing you've endured has been wasted. Every sleepless night, every quiet tear has been counted. The heaviness that sat on your chest wasn't punishment, it was proof that you were carrying something sacred. You were being prepared, refined through fire, strengthened through storms. Your scars are not evidence of defeat, they are the marks of survival. You did not lose yourself in the process, you found the truest version of who you are. You've wondered why the battles never seemed fair, why life demanded so much from you. The answer is simple, but holy. The greater the calling, the deeper the crushing. Oil only flows where olives are pressed. Diamonds are only formed under pressure. And you, chosen one, have endured pressure that few could survive. You've walked through fires that should have left ashes, yet you still carry light. That's not coincidence, that's divine resilience. The Spirit spoke through the prophet Isaiah, chapter 61, verse 3, to bestow on them a crown of beauty instead of ashes, the oil of joy instead of mourning, and a garment of praise instead of a spirit of despair. That verse is your reflection. You have traded tears for testimony, grief for grace, ashes for beauty. You may not have realized it, but every heartbreak shaped the anointing you carry now. What once felt like loss was transformation in disguise. You were not being broken, you were being built. Heaven doesn't waste pain. Every sorrow became a seed, and now the harvest is near. You've been misunderstood. Yes, you've been used. Yes, you've been betrayed by those you trusted most. Yet, through it all, you never let your heart turn bitter. You still chose compassion. You still chose love. That's why you carry power, because even when darkness tried to define you, light refused to leave you. Look at your journey. Every setback was a setup. Every delay was a divine detour. Every moment you thought was the end was actually the shaping of a beginning. You have walked through valleys others fear to enter, and yet you emerged stronger. There's a reason for that. You are not just surviving life, you are shaping it. Your resilience is a testimony written in heaven's ink. Some of your deepest cries came when no one else was around. You whispered prayers through exhaustion, asking God if He even heard you. And though heaven seemed silent, it was never absent. The silence wasn't rejection, it was strategy. Heaven was working in the background, aligning your breakthrough to perfect timing. The strength you gained in the waiting will carry you through the next season. You don't realize it yet, but people will find healing in your story. Others will see their reflection in your resilience. The same pain that tried to destroy you will become a platform for your purpose. There's a radiance on you now, not from ease, but from endurance. You are walking proof that even broken pieces can shine. You might still feel the echo of old wounds, but remember, this pain doesn't mean punishment, it means purpose is close. The fire you went through wasn't to consume you, but to clarify you, to remove everything that was never meant to stay. You are lighter now, freer now, clearer now. You can sense it, can't you? Something in you knows that the season of heaviness is breaking. There's peace coming, but not the kind the world gives. A deeper, unshakable peace, the kind that comes when you finally understand that every wound had meaning. You've carried the weight, now you'll carry wisdom. You've walked through darkness, now you'll lead others to light. You are stronger than you realize. Every tear you shed was watering something unseen, and soon, what you planted in pain will rise in power. The time you thought you lost will return multiplied. The strength you thought you'd never regain is already rising within you. And when you look back, you'll understand why none of it was wasted. You'll see the divine fingerprints in every delay, the mercy in every mystery, because chosen ones are never abandoned, only hidden until the appointed time. Now, take a deep breath. This is not the end of your story. This is the unveiling. The chapter of endurance is closing, and the chapter of glory begins. If your heart agrees, comment, "Still standing." because that's your testimony after all the fire, all the storms, all the heartbreak. You're still here. You didn't collapse, you endured. Let heaven see your declaration not of perfection, but of perseverance. You are still standing. And that means victory has already begun. There is a war that has been raging around you long before you ever understood it. A quiet, invisible battle, not with people, not with circumstances, but with powers that seek to dim your light. You have felt it, haven't you? The heaviness that comes without warning, the sudden weariness that drains you after moments of peace. It's not just emotion, it's warfare. Darkness recognizes the light you carry, and it trembles. You have to understand this. The opposition you face is confirmation of your calling. The moment you were marked by heaven, you became a target of hell. That's why you've had to fight battles others can't see. You're not cursed, you're chosen. You carry something that the enemy fears. Something eternal, something that cannot be imitated. The Word of God reveals in the book of Ephesians, chapter 6, verse 12, "For our struggle is not against flesh and blood, but against the rulers, against the authorities, against the powers of this dark world, and against the spiritual forces of evil in the heavenly realms." This scripture pulls back the veil and exposes the truth. Not everyone who opposes you is your enemy. And not every problem is human. Some storms were sent to distract, some voices to discourage, and some delays to disarm you. But the very fact that you're still standing means the enemy's plan failed. You see, chosen ones often fight battles no one else understands, while others live in comfort. You've been called to warfare, spiritual, emotional, and mental. The tension in your spirit is proof that heaven is working through you. You don't just exist in this world, you influence the atmosphere around you. That's why the attacks are personal, because your light exposes what hides in others. There were moments you almost gave in. You felt tired of always being strong, tired of always being the one who must hold faith when everything seems to fall apart. You wanted rest, peace, an easier path. And yet, every time you wanted to surrender, something or someone pulled you back up. That was not coincidence. That was heaven reinforcing your strength. You may not have realized it, but every prayer you whispered in exhaustion was a weapon. Every time you chose forgiveness over anger, you disarmed darkness. Every time you decided to keep walking, even when the path was unclear, you advanced heaven's plan. You are not weak for feeling weary. You are strong for not giving up. You were never meant to fight in your own power. The strength you have is borrowed divine strength flowing through human hands. The enemy hoped you would break under pressure. But all that pressure did was reveal your authority. You've been learning to fight not by reaction, but by revelation, knowing when to stand, when to stay silent, when to speak, and when to rest. Every chosen one must pass through seasons where nothing makes sense. It's not punishment, it's training. Heaven teaches warriors in darkness so they can shine with wisdom in light. You've been in that training ground, learning endurance, learning discernment, learning how to recognize what is spiritual and what is distraction. Now, something is shifting. The battle you've been in is nearing its end. Not because the enemy has surrendered, but because you have matured. You no longer fight from fear, you fight from authority. You no longer panic in storms, you command peace within them. You no longer beg for survival, You speak life into your surroundings. That's what the last seasons were for transformation. Heaven doesn't send easy tests to those marked for great impact. You've been refined to see beyond what eyes can see, to sense what others miss, to discern truth amid deception. You've learned that not every open door is divine, and not every closed one is rejection. This awareness is your weapon now. The light inside you doesn't just guide your path, it pierces the dark around you. And though the war continues, you no longer fight alone. Angels surround you. Grace covers you. Favor shields you. The silent war that once drained you will soon define you. It will be the story you tell, how you stood when others fell, how you believed when evidence said you shouldn't, how you kept shining even when surrounded by shadows. So, do not fear what comes next. The warfare that surrounds you is not meant to destroy. It's meant to announce that your breakthrough is near. Every chosen one walks through battle before wearing the crown. You are walking through yours now, but the victory has already been written. The season of confusion is lifting. You will soon understand why certain doors closed and why you had to walk alone. What once felt like loss was protection. The very walls that confined you were actually guarding what God was forming within you. Now clarity is coming like dawn after a long night. You will see purpose where there was pain, and peace where there was pressure. Every hidden battle was proof of your calling. And this time, when light breaks through, you will stand unshaken. There are moments in time when heaven sounds an alarm, a call that only those attuned to the divine rhythm can hear. You've been feeling it lately, haven't you? That stirring in your spirit, that sense that something monumental is approaching. It's not fear, it's awakening. Heaven is announcing movement. The stillness you felt was not absence, it was the gathering of strength before the release. This Wednesday will not be like any other. It carries a sound, a frequency, a divine pulse that shakes the atmosphere around you. You may not see it, but the air itself is vibrating with prophetic purpose. There are alignments taking shape, connections forming, doors creaking open that once seemed sealed shut. Everything that was paused is beginning to flow again. The voice of God thundered in the book of Joel, chapter 2, verse 21. Fear not, O land, be glad and rejoice, for the Lord will do great things. That is not a distant promise, it's a present announcement. Heaven is speaking that over you. Now, great things are coming. Even now, the breath of God is sweeping through dry places, reviving dreams you thought were gone forever. You may not have understood the waiting, but heaven was aligning you with divine timing, like the sunrise that cannot be rushed. Your moment has been rising slowly, beautifully, perfectly. And now, as the light begins to spill over your horizon, heaven whispers, "It's time." This is where you take a breath and recognize how far you've come. You've walked through the storm, through the valley, through uncertainty, and yet you're still here. Every day that you refuse to quit has brought you to this sacred hour. This Wednesday is not a coincidence. It's the moment when promise and preparation collide. So, as heaven's alarm sounds, don't just listen, respond. Let your faith move. Let your spirit rise. When the divine moves, participation becomes worship. It's not about performance or perfection, it's about partnership with heaven's will. And now, let me speak gently, from the heart. What we're building together here, these messages, these words that awaken souls are like lights placed on a hill. Each light costs something: time, effort, and yes, even resources. But this space has always been built on love, never obligation. If these words have blessed you, if you feel the presence of God when you listen or read, consider watering the soil that feeds your spirit. A seed freely given always multiplies. When you support, it's not payment, it's participation. It's you saying, I believe in keeping the light burning. Think of it like a candle lighting another. The first flame doesn't lose anything, it only spreads more light. When you give, when you choose to donate, you are not paying for words. You are fueling a fire that keeps reaching hearts still lost in darkness. And if all you can give is your prayer or your encouragement, know that it matters deeply. No act of faith is ever small in heaven's eyes. If your heart leads you to give, let it be out of gratitude, not guilt. You are never asked, only invited. You are never pressured, only inspired. The work here continues because of hearts like yours, hearts that feel the call to make sure hope keeps reaching those who are still in the dark. And for those who cannot give right now, your presence here is already a gift. When you like, when you share, when you subscribe, you are part of something sacred. Each click is a spark. Each share a beam of light traveling farther than we can imagine. Every small act becomes a part of heaven's echo. This is how heaven builds movements, one willing soul at a time. One act of kindness becomes a ripple that turns into a wave. You are part of that wave. You are not just a listener, you are a vessel, a carrier of light. So as this Wednesday approaches, take this moment to prepare your heart. Expect miracles. Expect answers. Expect a shift so undeniable that it confirms everything heaven has been whispering. Let your spirit stay awake. Let your faith stay active. And when you engage, whether by sharing this message with someone who needs it, subscribing so you stay connected to future words, or sowing a seed through your donation to keep the fire alive, do it as an act of worship. Not because you must, but because you want to see light continue spreading. Giving is not losing, it's planting light into darkness. Sharing is not effort, it's passing the torch. Subscribing is not habit, it's saying, keep my spirit awake. The alarm has sounded. The season of stillness is over. Step into this divine moment with an open heart, knowing that what you contribute in love, in prayer, in generosity returns multiplied. You are part of something eternal. The light you help sustain will one day illuminate lives you may never meet. And when heaven counts the impact, your name will be among those who chose to keep the flame alive. There are moments when heaven invites you to act not out of impulse, but out of revelation. This is one of those moments. Something is stirring in the unseen, and your spirit can already feel the pull of alignment. The signs around you are not random, they are reminders that destiny is close. You've waited, you've prayed, you've endured, and now, heaven is extending a signal, a call to step into full agreement. In every divine move, there comes a point where heaven waits for earth to respond. This is that point for you. Your yes is not just a word, it's a spiritual key that unlocks what's been waiting behind the curtain of delay. You've come too far to stop now. According to what is revealed in the book of Proverbs, chapter 16, verse 3, commit to the Lord whatever you do, and He will establish your plans. That's not just instruction, that's covenant. It's heaven's way of saying, Give me what's in your hands, and I'll give you what's in mine. This Wednesday is not just a day, it's a moment of divine establishment. When you align your plans, your heart, and your hope with heaven, you invite divine order to replace confusion. Look at how your journey has unfolded. What once felt delayed now feels divinely timed. What once seemed silent now echoes with purpose. You are not late. You are right on schedule, heaven's schedule. Every missed opportunity, every closed door, every no you didn't understand was simply a redirection towards something higher. There's a rhythm in the spirit that can only be heard by those who are still enough to listen. You've reached that stillness now, the calm after chaos, the breath before breakthrough. It's the same silence that comes before the dawn. It may look quiet, but everything inside heaven's timeline is moving quickly on your behalf. This is why you've been feeling the inner nudge, that sense that something is coming, that a new chapter is opening, because it is. The season of hiddenness is shifting into visibility. The waiting season is transforming into the walking season. You are about to see what your faith has been silently building. But heaven requires your participation, not through striving, not through fear, but through agreement. When you move in faith, you activate heaven's motion toward you. Faith is not noise, it's alignment. It's saying, I agree with what God has already spoken. So, right now, as a prophetic act, I want you to mark this moment. There's something powerful about physical agreement with spiritual truth. Heaven responds to the language of faith action. In this space, words are not just sound, they are seeds. At this point in your journey, heaven is inviting you to declare your agreement, to make a sign of faith that says, I am ready, not in fear, but in confidence. Not because you're desperate, but because you're destined. So I ask you, right here, right now, go to the comments and type the number 555. 5 is the number of grace. When it appears in a sequence of 3, it means overflowing grace, divine completion, and heavenly movement. When you write 555, you are not just typing digits, you are declaring that the grace covering your life is expanding. You are aligning your spirit with heaven's flow, saying, Lord, let your will unfold fully in me. This number becomes a symbol, a bridge between your faith and heaven's timing. It represents transition, restoration, and divine speed. When you type it, do it with understanding. Whisper it in your heart as you write, I step into grace upon grace. Heaven hears what your fingers declare. Every prophetic number typed in faith becomes an echo in the unseen, a light signal that says, I am ready for divine motion. This Wednesday carries the vibration of breakthrough. Let your comment be more than interaction, let it be intercession, a sacred response to a sacred invitation. Because when grace meets obedience, history changes. And this week, your story is about to shift from waiting to walking, from hoping to receiving, from preparation to manifestation. Your yes today creates momentum for tomorrow. Let heaven see your agreement and watch how the doors begin to respond. Type 555, not for luck, not for superstition, but as a declaration of grace overflowing into every part of your life. When you comment 555, see it as more than numbers. It's your soul whispering, I receive the grace prepared for me. You're agreeing with heaven's timing, inviting divine favor to flow where there was once frustration, turning hidden prayers into visible breakthroughs. Each 555 becomes a light in the spiritual realm, a signal that grace is no longer distant but dwelling within you. Let this be your sacred declaration that grace multiplies, peace surrounds, and what was once delayed now moves with divine acceleration toward fulfillment. Something in the atmosphere is breaking open. You may not see it yet, but you can feel it, the subtle shift, the quiet rearranging of everything that once felt heavy. The resistance you battled for so long is weakening. What once stood still is beginning to move. You can almost sense the invisible pressure lifting. It's as though the heavens have begun to exhale, and creation itself is preparing to release what was held back. This is the breaking of delay. The chains that wrapped around your progress are beginning to fall. For a long time, it felt like every step forward came with another setback. Every answered prayer carried a hidden obstacle. You wondered if you had missed your moment. But now, heaven whispers, "No, child, the delay was never denial. It was preservation." The delay did not come to destroy your faith. It came to deepen it. You have been trained in the waiting. You learned to trust without evidence, to stand without applause, to keep believing when everything told you to stop. What was happening behind the scenes was not punishment, it was protection. God was aligning what you couldn't see. As was spoken in the sacred texts of old, in the book of Habakkuk, chapter 2, verse 3, "For the vision is yet for an appointed time, though it tarry. Wait for it, because it will surely come. It will not delay." That verse holds the secret to your season. Every divine promise has a timetable. Even delay has divine design. What looks like silence is heaven's version of construction. God never forgets what he promises. He fulfills it when it can no longer be sabotaged. You weren't waiting on the blessing was waiting on you to mature enough to hold it. Look back and notice it, the growth that came through the waiting. You've learned patience that cannot be taught by comfort. You've learned discernment that only comes through disappointment. You've learned how to find peace in uncertainty and how to recognize God even when he's quiet. That is strength disguised as stillness. Sometimes heaven slows your pace to protect your purpose. What you called a pause was actually preparation. God was never late. He was removing what could not survive where you're going. You thought you were standing still, but you were being refined like gold under fire, like seed beneath the soil. Growth doesn't always make noise. Now the season has shifted. What was hidden is being revealed. The pressure that once crushed you is now propelling you. Doors that refuse to open will begin to swing wide. Not because of your effort, but because the time has come. What was delayed by resistance is being released by divine command. You will notice it in small ways at first, a conversation that leads to opportunity, a thought that brings sudden clarity, an idea that finally works. These are signs that the flow has begun again. The same energy that felt blocked will now feel effortless. Where you once pushed against walls, you'll now walk through open gates. This breaking of delay is not random, it's prophetic. Heaven has measured your endurance and found it faithful. You stayed when others left. You believed when others doubted. You kept going when it made no sense. And now, the reward of steadfastness is manifesting. Remember how often you cried. When? God, those tears were not wasted, they watered the promise. Every unanswered prayer was stored. every cry remembered. And now, the response is being released. Not as a single blessing, but as a wave, a flood of restoration so strong it will make sense of every no you've ever heard. The season of delay taught you how to wait without losing hope. Now it's time to move without fear. You have graduated from waiting to walking, from hoping to having. The slow pace has ended. Acceleration begins. The spiritual traffic around you is clearing. Divine order is taking the lead. And when you feel the movement, do not panic. The pace will change quickly. What took years will take days. What once felt distant will appear suddenly. You might even feel unprepared for how fast it comes. But trust it, this is what you prayed for. God's timing is never meant to frustrate. It's meant to fortify. And now that you are fortified, the blessing can flow freely. You will not lose what's being released to you, because you now have the wisdom to carry it well. The breaking of delay doesn't mean everything will be perfect. It means that divine alignment is active. The path will not always be easy, but it will finally make sense. You will feel heaven's wind behind you, pushing you into places that were once unreachable. This is your release season, the moment where what was promised starts to breathe, move, and live. What was waiting for the right time is now entering your reality. The clock has struck divine timing, and heaven has declared. Now, there was a moment, maybe more than once, when you almost gave up. When the weight of it all pressed so hard that you could barely breathe. You tried to stay strong, but inside you were breaking. You told yourself, maybe this is it. Maybe I've given all I can. The silence from heaven felt unbearable. You thought your prayers were falling into empty space. But even in that silence, you were not alone. Heaven was not ignoring you. It was protecting you. There are battles that rage around the chosen ones that they never see. You thought you were standing still, but angels were fighting on your behalf. Every tear that fell became a signal in the spirit realm, a cry that heaven could not ignore. You thought you were abandoned, but you were actually being guarded. We are reminded through the writings of David in the book of Psalms, chapter 34, verse 18. The Lord is close to the brokenhearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit. That scripture is not poetic comfort, it is reality. God was nearest to you in the nights you thought he had left. Every breath you took in pain was a declaration of survival. Every moment you refused to give up became a seed of future strength. You may have felt forgotten, but heaven was closer than ever, watching, waiting, strengthening you in ways you could not see. The truth is, pain has a purpose. It refines what comfort cannot reach. It pulls out truth that routine tries to bury. In your lowest moments, heaven wasn't punishing you, it was revealing you. You met yourself there, in that quiet agony, stripped of everything false. And what was left was real, raw faith, pure surrender, unshakable endurance. Do you remember those nights when you whispered prayers you couldn't even finish, the ones that started with tears instead of words? Heaven heard them. Those weren't weak prayers, they were the strongest you've ever prayed because they came from truth, not performance. God isn't moved by eloquence, he's moved by honesty. You gave him your truth, and he gave you his grace. When you almost gave up, something miraculous happened. The part of you that was meant to die, fear, doubt, insecurity, began to fall away. And what remained was strength you didn't know you had. You didn't rise because you wanted to. You rose because you were carried. You didn't endure because you planned to. You endured because heaven wouldn't let you quit. There's a line, only chosen ones understand that breaking point, where surrender and resurrection meet. It's where you finally let go. Not because you've lost faith, but because you've outgrown control. You realize that trusting God doesn't mean understanding Him, it means staying even when you don't. That's where your transformation began. Looking back now, you can see glimpses of purpose hiding in your pain. The relationships that ended freed your heart to heal. The delays that frustrated you gave time for your spirit to mature. The disappointments that cut deep removed what wasn't aligned with your destiny. You thought those endings were losses, but they were transitions in disguise. You see, every time you almost gave up, heaven was preparing a suddenly. You couldn't see it. But while you were crying, God was building. While you were waiting, God was aligning. Every silent season was heaven's workshop, crafting breakthroughs that needed time to be ready. And the best part, the moments you thought were wasted are the very moments God is about to redeem. You are stepping into a time when what hurt you will heal others. The pain you carried will become power you release. Your testimony will be a light for those walking through their own darkness. You may not have realized it, but when you survived what tried to end you, you shifted something in the spirit. You proved that light cannot be extinguished. Every ounce of resistance made you stronger. Every tear baptized your strength. You no longer walk as someone hoping for mercy, you walk as someone carrying proof of it. When you almost gave up, heaven didn't record it as failure. It recorded it as faith. You kept standing when standing hurt. You kept believing when belief cost you everything. And that kind of faith shakes the foundations of darkness. Now, your strength carries a quiet authority. You've seen too much to doubt. You've fallen too far to fear. The pain that once weakened you has now built armor around your heart, not hardness, but holy resilience. You no longer just believe in miracles, you are one. So, when you remember those nights of tears, don't see them as moments of weakness, see them as proof of divine partnership. You didn't just survive those nights, you were transformed in them. Heaven used what broke you to build you. And now, as you walk forward, the echo of those nights follows you, not as pain, but as power. You will never be the same, because when you almost gave up, you met the God who never does. Your voice has always carried more weight in heaven than you ever imagined. You thought your words were small, fragile, barely heard, but every syllable of faith you've ever spoken has been gathered, stored, and remembered. There is no wasted whisper in the kingdom of God. Every help me, every thank you, every quiet I still believe is written in the archives of eternity. When you pray, the atmosphere bends to listen. Angels pause. Time itself seems to still, because the chosen carry sound that the heavens recognize, a frequency born not of perfection, but of surrender. Even when your voice trembles, it still carries authority. The sound of your faith travels farther than you will ever know. You've prayed through exhaustion before. You've cried mid-sentence. You've wrestled to find words when your heart was too heavy to speak. Yet those moments were not weakness, they were worship. Heaven doesn't respond to polished speeches. Heaven responds to pure hearts. The Spirit spoke through the ancient words recorded in the book of Psalms. Chapter 141, verse 2. Let my prayer be set forth before thee as incense, and the lifting up of my hands as the evening sacrifice. Incense, That's what your prayers are. They rise, unseen but unmistakable, carrying fragrance into the throne room of God. You might not see smoke, but the heavens smell the faith of your persistence. And where there is fragrance, there is favor. Sometimes you pray and it feels like nothing changes, yet unseen. Mountains move by millimeters. You don't always witness the miracle because God often answers in silence, shaping circumstances until the right moment comes. Delay doesn't mean denial. It means orchestration. Your words have not been ignored, they have been timed. Heaven is never late, only strategic. While you were speaking, the Spirit was aligning hearts, opening paths, softening obstacles. Heaven was building an answer that wouldn't just satisfy you, but sustain you. Every chosen one carries a voice assignment to declare life where death tries to dwell. That's why your silence has always felt heavy. You were never meant to be mute. When you speak, even softly, light escapes your mouth and cuts through darkness. Your voice has authority, not because of volume, but because of covenant. You belong to a God who breathes power into confession. That's why the enemy fought so hard to make you stop speaking. He knows that if you keep declaring, something in the atmosphere will break. There are people right now waiting for the sound of your story. Your words will become their bridge. Your testimony will become their proof. When you speak about how God carried you through your valley, someone else finds courage to walk through theirs. That's the beauty of divine echo. Your victory speaks beyond you. You don't need the perfect moment to speak. You just need a willing heart. Every honest declaration carries creative force. When you say, I forgive, heaven records freedom. When you say, I believe again, chains loosen. When you say, I will rise, light floods places that were still dark. This is what your voice was made for, not to entertain, but to awaken. You don't just speak words, you speak worlds. You shape tomorrow with what you say today. And heaven has been waiting for your agreement. There's a stirring in the unseen now, a vibration that matches your heartbeat. Heaven is ready to release what your faith has been declaring. Speak hope. Speak healing. Speak light. The spiritual world listens when the chosen one opens their mouth. Your voice is your weapon. It doesn't just travel upward, it ripples outward. It touches lives, reorders energies, and calls destiny back into alignment. When you speak, you remind the atmosphere who you are, not a survivor, but a vessel of divine fire. So, as you read these words, open your mouth again. Whisper if you must, but speak. Bless your day. Declare peace over your home. Announce that your waiting season has turned. You'll feel the shift. The air around you will grow lighter because heaven responds to bold voices. And now, as a sign of agreement, go to the comments and write, I speak life. Let it be your declaration. Those 3 words are not routine, they are resurrection. When you type them, you're releasing authority into your own atmosphere, announcing to heaven and to your soul that you refuse to be silent again. When you comment, I speak life, you are doing more than typing words. You are aligning yourself with divine creation. Those words carry weight. They are the language of heaven spoken through your human voice. Every time you declare life, you shift the unseen. You call peace into chaos, light into darkness, hope into the places that once felt empty. You become a participant in God's restoration, not just a receiver of it. So, say it boldly. With understanding, I speak life, because life responds to those who choose it. Your declaration today becomes tomorrow's transformation, spoken, sealed, and heard in heaven. The air around you is changing. Can you feel it? The shift isn't loud, but it's real. Something about this moment carries a quiet power, as though heaven is inhaling before a divine exhale. The atmosphere is aligning with what God has already spoken over your life. This Wednesday will not be just another sunrise. It will be the day heaven and earth finally meet in your story. There are certain days that hold the weight of destiny. Days when time seems to bend, when the unseen touches the seen. You are standing on the edge of one right now. Everything that once felt delayed is catching up. Everything that once felt lost is being restored. This is the moment when years of endurance start to make sense. The Spirit reminds us through the book of Isaiah, chapter 43, verse 19. See, I am doing a new thing, now it springs up. Do you not perceive it? I am making a way in the wilderness and streams in the wasteland. That is what's happening in your life, new things springing forth from dry places. What felt barren is about to bloom. The wilderness has been long, but the path through it has already been paved. You don't have to create the way, you just have to walk it. When God begins to move, everything shifts, not just the outer world, but the heart within you. It's like the first breeze before the rain, the scent of something fresh in the air. It's the sign that heaven has heard you. And when heaven moves, the earth always responds. But here's what few understand: divine movement is never solitary. It happens through unity, through voices, hearts, and hands joining together to keep the fire burning. The light that finds you here isn't meant to stop with you, it's meant to pass through you. When you like, when you share, when you subscribe. It may feel simple, but in the spiritual realm, it's significant. Each act becomes a ripple of light, carrying hope into places you may never reach personally. You might never meet the person who finds healing through the same message that once healed you, but heaven will. Every click is a seed, every share a spark, every connection a candle lit in someone else's darkness. That is the beauty of divine partnership. The light doesn't belong to one person, it multiplies through many. And if your heart ever feels led to donate, let it come from that same place, not pressure, not guilt, but joy. Think of it as watering the very garden that once gave you fruit. When you pour into the soil that feeds your spirit, you aren't losing anything. You're ensuring that the next weary soul can find shade beneath the same tree. Imagine it this way: this message is a river. You have been drinking from its waters, refreshed and renewed. A river flows only when streams keep feeding it. Every contribution, whether a prayer, a kind comment, a share, or a gift, becomes another stream that keeps the river alive for others. When you choose to give, it isn't about obligation, it's about continuation. You are saying, let the current keep moving. Let the next person find life in these words like I did. It's not about money, it's about meaning, about keeping hope accessible to hearts that need it most. This space, this message, this movement, it's a collaboration between heaven and willing hearts on earth. You are part of it. Whether you realize it or not, you've become a carrier of hope, a keeper of flame. And when you share what inspires you, when you support what uplifts you, you become a co-creator of light. So if you've ever felt touched by these words, Consider staying connected. Subscribe so that you never miss the next whisper from heaven. Like what lifts your heart. Share what you wish someone had told you when you were breaking. And if you feel moved to donate, let it be an act of gratitude, a simple thank you to the source that never stopped believing in you. Because every flame needs oil, every voice needs breath, and every light needs someone who chooses to keep it burning. You are that someone. This isn't about transactions, it's about transformation. You are not funding a message, you are extending it. You are not giving to a person, you are giving through a purpose. You are saying to heaven, I will help keep the light alive. Let this moment be one of freedom, not obligation. If you feel moved, act. If you need time, pray. Heaven sees the heart, not the amount. What matters most is the love behind the motion. The new thing has already begun. You're standing in the middle of a miracle in motion, and the part you play, every share, every click, every seed of generosity is a note in heaven's symphony of restoration. You are not just a listener of light, you are its messenger now. Something divine is stirring not outside you, but within. You can feel it like quiet thunder in your chest, like a heartbeat that's not entirely your own. What is happening now is what many call acceleration. It's when heaven decides that the time for waiting has expired and the time for fulfillment has begun. Things that once took years are suddenly happening in days. Doors you used to knock on now swing open before you even reach them. You have entered the anointing of acceleration. It is not random. It is reward. You have sown seeds in seasons where no one noticed. You have watered those seeds with tears, faith, and perseverance. Now heaven is answering with growth that will feel supernatural. The roots you built in secret are about to produce visible fruit. The ancient words recorded in the book of Amos, chapter 9, verse 13. Capture this very season. The days are coming, declares the Lord, when the reaper will be overtaken by the plowman and the planter by the one treading grapes. This is what acceleration looks like, the harvest overtaking the sowing. You will hardly finish planting before results begin to appear. The rhythm of heaven is quickening around you. It's not chaos, it's divine motion. But let this truth settle deeply. Acceleration is not about rushing, it's about readiness. Heaven only accelerates what has been prepared. You are being lifted now, not because of luck, but because your heart is aligned. You've done the unseen work, the forgiving, the healing, the enduring, and now heaven is amplifying your steps. Think about how long you waited, how often you prayed, how many times you nearly quit. All of it was molding you into someone who can handle the pace of promise. Blessing comes fast only when character runs deep. If the miracle had come earlier, it might have overwhelmed you. Now, it will empower you. Acceleration feels strange at first. You'll notice sudden opportunities, unexpected favor, swift resolutions to problems that used to feel endless. It may leave you breathless, but don't mistake it for instability. It's divine alignment. God is compressing time, redeeming what was lost. Every delay that felt wasted is being folded back into your destiny, multiplied in return. You will look back and realize the long season wasn't a setback, it was a setup. The slow years were foundation years. They taught you how to carry weight without collapsing. And now, that strength will meet speed. This kind of divine momentum doesn't announce itself with noise, it arrives quietly. like morning. You will wake up one day and realize everything changed while you weren't looking. The connections you needed will appear. The peace you prayed for will settle. The answers you sought will start arriving almost effortlessly. But acceleration isn't just about external blessings, it's about spiritual quickening. You will notice that your discernment sharpens, your peace strengthens, your prayers deepen. You will hear God's voice more clearly because the noise of doubt is finally fading. Your steps will feel lighter, your faith more confident. It will feel as though you are finally walking at heaven's pace. In this season, you must learn to flow, not force. The river is moving quickly now, but you are not meant to swim against it. Let grace carry you. Trust the current. It knows where it's going. The acceleration of God doesn't lead to exhaustion, it leads to effortless progress motion without striving, success without struggle, peace without panic. You'll recognize divine acceleration when doors open with peace instead of pressure. The opportunities that appear now will fit like they were made for you because they were. Heaven is not trying to surprise you, it's trying to synchronize you. And remember, when God moves you forward this quickly, humility must stay close. The temptation in seasons of speed is to think you made it happen. But acceleration is a reminder that you're not earning, you're receiving. Every step ahead is grace multiplied. So stay grounded in gratitude. Celebrate without pride. Move with intention, not hurry. The anointing of acceleration is a sacred trust, heaven's way of saying, "You've proven faithful in waiting, now walk in fulfillment." The next weeks may feel like a blur of blessings, but each one will carry the fingerprint of divine timing. You won't need to chase. What belongs to you will find you. The things that once outran you will now meet you halfway. This is what it looks like when heaven accelerates destiny. Everything begins to unfold. Not by striving, but by grace. You are walking into divine momentum. What once crawled will now soar. What once delayed will now deliver. The season of acceleration has begun, and it carries your name. You will move through days that feel like answered prayers walking beside you. Every step forward will whisper, "This is what I waited for." Heaven's timing has finally caught up to your obedience. So walk gently but boldly. Don't rush the blessing, let it bloom around you. Every breath you take now is prophetic proof. What once was delayed has finally arrived. There are moments when heaven asks you to respond, not with words of explanation, but with symbols of faith. Numbers, when spoken in divine timing, carry a vibration, a spiritual code that heaven understands. They are not magic, they are markers, prophetic signs of agreement between your heart and God's will. And now, in this very moment, you are being invited into one of those divine acts of alignment. You have walked through the waiting, endured the silence, survived the breaking, and now you are standing at the door of fulfillment. But doors in the Spirit do not open by effort, they open by faith. That's what this act is about. Not superstition, not ritual, but response. Heaven is watching for your signal, a small gesture that says, "I am ready to step fully into what you've prepared for me." As the Word of God declares in the book of Romans, chapter 8, verse 28, "And we know that in all things God works for the good of those who love Him, who have been called according to His purpose." That is the promise that covers you now. Even the moments that didn't make sense were working for your good. The times that broke your heart were building your foundation. Everything was leading here to this moment of divine cooperation, where heaven moves in response to the sound of your faith. There's a reason this message found you today. You are standing on sacred ground between almost and already. Heaven has written something extraordinary into your week. But to receive it, your heart must agree in faith. That's why this moment matters. So I ask you now, as a prophetic act of agreement, go to the comments and type the number 888. 8 is the number of new beginnings. 3 8s together represent infinite renewal, the endless cycle of grace, restoration, and divine overflow. It is heaven's code for resurrection for something that once died suddenly, breathing again. When you type 888, you are declaring, I step into my new beginning. You are not begging for change, you are announcing it. You are telling heaven that you recognize the shift, that you are ready for the new chapter, that you agree with the timing of God. The act may seem small, but in the spirit, it's powerful. Numbers speak when words fall short. 888 is not just digits, it's declaration. It's you saying, I receive what's next. I let go of what's done. I embrace what's being born in me. And as you do this, something shifts. The old weight lifts. The residue of the past begins to fall away. Grace steps forward, carrying you into what was always meant for you. The atmosphere responds to faith. Heaven moves toward voices that move in agreement. This is more than symbolism, it's alignment. Every chosen one reaches a moment where heaven says, mark this day. This is that moment for you. This Wednesday will carry a vibration that changes the tone of your journey. When you comment 888, you're planting a flag of faith in the ground of your destiny. Don't think of it as typing, think of it as testifying. The very act becomes a memorial in the spirit, a moment heaven can point to and say, there, that's when they said yes. You are not performing, you are partnering. You're stepping into rhythm with divine motion, syncing your breath with heaven's heartbeat. As you release the number 888, imagine it rising like light, carrying your agreement upward, carrying your hope forward. It's your way of saying, I believe in newness. I believe in restoration. I believe my waiting is over. Heaven responds to faith, not force. You are not convincing God to bless you. You are aligning with what He already decided to give. The number becomes your echo of trust. So do it with awareness. Let your heart feel the meaning. Let your fingers carry the message that your soul already knows. New beginnings are here. And when you finish, take a deep breath. Something has shifted. The air feels lighter because it is. You've just agreed with heaven's next move for your life. Type 888, not as repetition, but as revelation. You are stepping into the rhythm of renewal. The old chapter is closing. The new one has already begun. When you comment 888, you're not typing numbers, you're announcing resurrection. It's your way of saying, what once ended now begins again. It's a whisper of faith that heaven translates into movement. A gentle yet powerful declaration of readiness. Every stroke of that number carries light. It says you trust God's timing, that you are releasing the old season without bitterness. Stepping boldly into the new, you are telling heaven, I won't live in waiting anymore, I'll live in becoming. So type it slowly, with intention. 888 means eternal grace, unending renewal, divine rebirth. It is the symbol of cycles restored, promises returning, peace rebuilding, strength reviving. You're not predicting the future, you're partnering with it. The air feels different when truth begins to surface. You can sense it, the subtle unease in your surroundings, the tension between what is revealed and what was hidden. This is the season of exposure, the unveiling of what has been concealed. Heaven does not expose to shame. Heaven exposes to protect, to clarify, to release you from deception. For too long, you've walked among shadows pretending to be light. But now the masks are slipping. The same God who hides you in preparation also reveals what stands against you when the time is right. You are stepping into that right time. The veil is lifting, not to frighten you, but to free you. The confusion that once clouded your discernment will clear, and you will begin to see people, places, and paths for what they truly are. Heaven speaks clearly through the book of Luke, chapter 8, verse 17, "For there is nothing hidden that will not be disclosed, and nothing concealed that will not be known or brought out into the open." This is the scripture manifesting over your life now. What was once whispered behind closed doors will no longer hold power. The plans that darkness plotted in secret are coming into the light. Truth is emerging, not to harm you, but to heal you. Because truth, even when painful, is freedom. You may feel waves of discomfort as things begin to reveal themselves, relationships shifting, motives surfacing, unexpected revelations coming to light. Do not panic. The exposure is not punishment, it is protection. God would rather you be momentarily uncomfortable than permanently deceived. Every revelation is a rescue mission in disguise. You've prayed for clarity, haven't you? You've asked God to show you who's truly with you and who's simply near you. That prayer is being answered now. The unveiling has begun. Some people will fall away, not because of failure, but because their season in your story has ended. Others will stay and surprise you with loyalty that runs deeper than words. Heaven is filtering your circle, ensuring that only the pure can walk with you into your promise. Truth always feels heavy before it feels holy. When masks fall, it can leave you disoriented, wondering what was real and what was performance. But this is where wisdom grows, in the space between disillusionment and understanding. When the illusion dies, clarity lives. You are being equipped with discernment now, and that discernment is divine armor. You will no longer be fooled by flattery or trapped by appearances. You will sense intentions before they are spoken. That is the power of being spiritually awake. You see beyond smiles and listen beyond words. The season you're stepping into demands clean connections. You cannot carry counterfeit energy into a divine destiny. That's why God is clearing your atmosphere. He is pruning people, plans, and even thoughts that cannot sustain the weight of your next level. The pruning isn't cruelty, it's calibration. It's heaven adjusting your surroundings to match your anointing. Don't fight what falls away. Let it. Every departure is divine editing. Every revelation is redirection. Sometimes God closes doors you were still knocking on, not because you're unworthy, but because He's saving you from walking into a trap disguised as opportunity. In the coming days, you will notice subtle confirmations. Things you once ignored will start making sense. Old conversations will echo differently. Faces will show their true expression when your light enters the room. The Spirit of truth is moving ahead of you, pulling back curtains, uncovering intentions, illuminating motives. Do not be afraid of what's revealed. Even betrayal, when exposed, becomes a blessing, for what is revealed cannot control you anymore. Knowledge liberates. Awareness heals. When you see clearly, you walk confidently. And when you walk confidently, no deception can delay you again. This unveiling is not just about others, it's about you too. There are parts of yourself God is bringing into the light, strengths you forgot, dreams you buried, gifts you downplayed. He is uncovering not only the false around you, but the divine within you. This is why the season feels both intense and sacred. Heaven is doing deep surgery, removing, revealing, restoring. The process may sting, but the outcome will shine. By the time this exposure ends, you will be lighter, clearer, and freer than you've ever been. What once manipulated you will lose its grip. What once drained you will no longer find access. You will stand, eyes open, heart guarded, yet soft enough to love again. Because the purpose of revelation is not bitterness, it's wisdom. So walk with peace through the unveiling. Trust that God never exposes without preparing restoration. After truth comes healing, and after healing comes glory. The light is not your enemy, it's your inheritance. And the truth, though it cuts, will soon crown you. And when the dust of revelation settles, you will not mourn what was lost, you will celebrate what remained. For only truth can stand in glory, and only light can walk beside you now. Something begins to awaken inside you the moment heaven places its mantle upon your shoulders. It is not a visible crown or a robe for others to admire, it is an invisible weight of purpose. A sacred authority that changes how you move through the world. The mantle does not arrive with applause, it arrives with awareness. One day, you wake up and realize you are no longer the same. Your words carry more weight. Your presence carries peace. Your silence carries revelation. This is what is happening to you now. The mantle is falling, not as a reward, but as recognition. Heaven sees what no one else could, the strength you built in secret, the purity of your endurance, the faith that didn't fade when storms came. You have walked through trials that refined you into someone trustworthy. You are no longer being prepared for the calling, you are now being clothed in it. We are reminded through the story written in the second book of Kings, chapter 2. Verse 13. He picked up the cloak that had fallen from Elijah and went back and stood on the bank of the Jordan. That moment changed everything for Elisha. He was no longer merely following, he was leading. The same authority that once rested on his mentor now rested on him. That is the kind of shift you are experiencing, a divine transfer of purpose. What once seemed beyond your reach is now resting in your hands. You may not have expected it, but God never anoints the obvious. He anoints the faithful, the ones who kept serving when recognition disappeared, the ones who stayed pure when compromise looked easier, the ones who didn't need a platform to prove their power. You are one of them. That's why the mantle fits. At first, the weight feels strange. It might even feel lonely. Mantles often come with isolation before revelation. When heaven crowns you, it also shields you. Not everyone can understand what you now carry. Some will question it. Others may resist it. But you must remember, mantles are not for validation, they are for function. You were never chosen to impress. You were chosen to impact. The mantle you carry comes with new sight. You will begin to discern what others dismiss. You'll sense burdens that heaven wants to lift. You'll speak words that heal. You'll walk into places and shift the very atmosphere. Your presence will no longer just exist. It will influence. The spiritual world recognizes new authority when it appears. This new season will also test your humility. For with great revelation comes greater responsibility. You will be trusted with mysteries, insights, and timing that others can't perceive. But the true mark of anointed power is gentleness. The stronger the oil, the softer the heart. Let compassion lead where authority flows. The mantle is not armor for pride, it is fabric soaked in mercy. There will be moments you feel unworthy of it. You may look at yourself and wonder, why me? But heaven does not choose the perfect, it perfects the chosen. God saw beyond your mistakes, beyond your doubts, beyond your history. He saw your yes, your quiet, persistent yes when no one else was watching. That yes is what drew the mantle to you. In time, others will recognize it too. They won't be able to explain it, but they'll feel it, the shift when you enter a room, the calm that follows your words, the confidence that doesn't shout. They'll sense that something divine rests upon you, though they may not know its name. That's how heaven works. It marks you in secret, then manifests you in public. This is the beginning of your mantle season, a time when authority and grace intertwine. The things that used to drain you will now flow through you effortlessly. You will find yourself doing with ease what once felt impossible. That's how divine empowerment operates. It replaces strain with flow. And with this new mantle comes a deeper awareness of purpose. You are not just here to survive or inspire. You are here to shift atmospheres, to awaken hearts, to remind others of who they are. Your very existence becomes a message. When people see you, they will see evidence that God still calls, still equips, still anoints. Do not be afraid of this weight. It is not a burden, it is a bridge. It connects heaven's intention to earth's need. You are that bridge now. When you speak, heaven moves. When you pray, the earth listens. When you walk, light follows. The authority on you is not earned, it is entrusted. So wear your mantle with humility and courage. It was tailor-made for you. It carries the fragrance of every season you've survived, the sound of every prayer you've whispered, the oil of every moment you said yes when it was hardest to believe. This mantle is not new fabric, it is woven from your tears, your trials, and your triumphs. And now, heaven places it upon you, whispering, this is who you were always meant to be. You can almost feel the call in the air, that gentle pull deep inside your chest, like the tide drawing back before a great wave. It's not noise, it's invitation. Heaven is whispering to you, rise. You have worn the mantle. Now it's time to walk in it. Every lesson, every scar, every silent yes has prepared you for this moment, the unveiling of your public purpose. The world around you may not recognize it yet, but the spiritual realm already does. Angels stand at attention. Destiny leans forward. You are stepping into the stage of visibility, not for applause, but for assignment. Heaven is not calling you to be famous, it's calling you to be faithful. As the Word of God reminds us in the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 5, Verse 14, you are the light of the world. A city set on a hill cannot be hidden. That is what you are, a light that cannot be hidden anymore. For too long, you've tried to stay small so others could stay comfortable. You've dimmed your brightness so no one would call you prideful. But heaven never designed you to hide. It designed you to illuminate. Your light was meant to travel through words, through actions, through compassion. And when light travels, it needs connection. A flame alone warms one, but 1,000 flames together light the world. That's what this community is, not a crowd, but a constellation. Each one of you shines a little differently, but together, you form a pattern heaven recognizes. When you like, when you share, when you subscribe, it's not about numbers or screens, it's about sending light further. Every time you engage, you're saying, let this flame reach another soul. The message that once healed you becomes the lamp that guides someone else. Your single spark might ignite hope in someone who has forgotten how to believe. And for those who choose to donate, think of it not as giving, but as gardening. These words are seeds that find hearts across the world. Your gift becomes water to those seeds, allowing them to bloom where pain once lived. It's never transaction, it's transformation. You're not funding words, you're cultivating light. Imagine walking into a vast garden at dawn, every flower glistening with dew, every leaf whispering life. That's what generosity feels like in the spirit realm. Each contribution, no matter how small, becomes a drop of morning dew that keeps this garden alive for someone who will stumble into it tomorrow, weary and thirsty for hope. But let me be clear, this is never obligation, it's invitation. Light cannot be demanded, it can only be shared. What we're building here isn't a platform, it's a fire. And fires live only when hearts choose to keep them burning. Some of you will tend this fire with prayer, others will tend it with sharing, spreading warmth to corners of the world you may never see. Some will tend it with giving, with the quiet generosity that says, let the flame burn brighter. Each act is sacred. Each choice is voluntary. Heaven honors all of it. And if you feel moved to interact, let your voice join the light. Leave a comment, even a single line of gratitude, a word of faith, a short prayer. Think of it as placing another glowing ember into the fire, adding your warmth to the collective glow. Your words might be the spark someone else needs tonight. So, if something in your spirit stirs, if these words feel like home to your heart, keep walking with us. Stay connected to the flow. Subscribe so you don't miss the next whisper of heaven. Like what speaks to you. Share what could heal someone else. And if you feel led to sow a seed, do it as worship, not as duty. Let your heart lead your hands. Remember, light never loses itself by giving. When one candle lights another, both burn brighter. You are not depleting yourself when you share, engage, or give. You are multiplying light. You are joining heaven's great relay of hope, passing the torch from soul to soul. This is your calling now, to shine, to serve, to spread warmth. Your presence here is already part of something sacred, whether through a prayer whispered in silence, a small gift given in faith, or a message shared in love. You are helping light travel further than you ever could, alone. Heaven doesn't ask you to do everything, only to do your part. And your part, right now, is simple. Keep the flame alive. Because somewhere, someone is standing in the dark, and your light, your comment, your kindness might be the one that finally reaches them, and as your light joins with others, the fire grows into something larger than us all, a living flame that no darkness can contain. This is how heaven writes history, through hearts that choose to shine. So stand tall, flame-bearer. Let your glow remain steady, even in the wind. Every spark you release is a story of grace. And together, our light will keep rewriting the night. There is a softness to divine reward. It rarely arrives with trumpets or crowds. Often, it comes quietly, wrapped in peace rather than noise. You wake one morning and realize the ache is gone. The weight is lighter. The worry that used to follow you has lost its grip. That's how heaven rewards, not always in wealth or status, but in restoration. What you lost in one form returns in another, purer way. This is the season of heaven's reward, not as payment for what you've done, but as recognition of who you've become. Every unseen act of obedience, every time you chose kindness when anger seemed easier, every tear you cried in secret, they were all counted. Heaven misses nothing. God's justice is not delayed, it's deliberate. And now, the time of divine recompense has arrived. According to the promise found in the book of Galatians, chapter 6, verse 9, let us not grow weary in doing good, for at the proper time we will reap a harvest if we do not give up. That proper time is dawning for you. The field you once thought barren is showing signs of life again. The seeds of faith you planted long ago, seeds others forgot. Seeds, even you, stopped watering, have been germinating beneath the surface. Heaven has been nurturing them where no eye could see. And now, those seeds are breaking through the soil. You may not recognize your harvest immediately. It may arrive disguised as opportunity, as peace, as closure, as strength. But you will know it by the feeling in your spirit, that quiet confirmation that says, this is what I've been waiting for. The reward of heaven is not loud, it's lasting. Earthly applause fades, but divine favor endures. You are walking into a season where doors open, not because of who you know, but because of who you've become. Character has created access that connections never could. This is the fruit of endurance, heaven trusting you with more because you were faithful with little. Think of how far you've come. There were nights when you had nothing left but faith, and even that felt fragile. Yet, here you are, still standing, still believing, still glowing. Heaven has taken note of every battle you fought in silence. Each one built something eternal inside you. You've been shaped into a vessel that can hold both blessing and humility at the same time. The reward is not just external, it's internal. Peace that doesn't depend on circumstance. Joy that doesn't demand explanation. Clarity where there used to be confusion. You are no longer chasing meaning, you are living in it. There will be tangible blessings too, answered prayers, reconciled relationships, new opportunities that align perfectly with your purpose. But more than that, there will be a new rhythm to your life. Things that used to take effort will now flow naturally. Favor will follow you quietly, not as a spotlight, but as a shadow of grace that never leaves your side. Understand this reward is not about what you receive, but about who you've become in the process. The greatest gift God gives is transformation, turning pain into wisdom, waiting into strength, and loss into testimony. You no longer measure success by outcomes, but by obedience. And that shift is what draws heaven's abundance toward you. There's a holy symmetry in this season. The very areas where you felt most defeated are the ones now blooming. The ground where you once wept is producing fruit. The places where you whispered prayers through tears are now echoing with laughter. God doesn't just restore what was lost, He multiplies it. You gave faith in the dark, now you'll reap joy in the light. And perhaps the most beautiful part of divine reward is that it arrives when you've stopped striving. It catches you mid-step, in ordinary moments, and reminds you that grace doesn't need an audience to be magnificent. You've entered the gentle part of the story, now the part where striving ceases and fulfillment begins. Take a moment to breathe this in. This is not a dream. This is what answered prayer feels like: steady, peaceful, and holy. Heaven's reward doesn't always look miraculous. Sometimes it looks like mornings without anxiety, nights filled with rest, and hearts unburdened by fear. It looks like you healed, a whole, and walking in purpose. This is the evidence that your faith was never in vain. God wastes nothing, forgets nothing, and delays nothing without reason. The proper time has come, and it carries your name. Walk gently now, not as someone desperate for breakthrough, but as someone finally living inside it. You are not chasing the blessing anymore. You are the blessing. You will begin to notice how peace follows you like a loyal friend. Even in ordinary moments, heaven's presence will hum softly around you, reminding you that you are finally home within yourself. This is your evidence, not noise, not spectacle, but stillness overflowing with strength, the promise fulfilled quietly, beautifully, permanently. The waiting is over, reward has arrived. And now, as all things come together, you begin to understand the story in full. What once felt scattered finally makes sense. The threads that seemed random were never random at all, they were divine design, weaving you into the person you are today. Every season, every heartbreak, every victory, every silence, all of it has led you here, to this holy equilibrium between purpose and peace. The crown and the cross have always belonged together. The crown represents glory. The cross represents process, and only those who have carried both can understand the weight of true destiny. You have known both pain and promise, both struggle and strength. And now, heaven places a crown not of gold, but of endurance upon your head. As the word declares in the second letter to Timothy, chapter 4, verse 8, "Now there is in store for me the crown of righteousness, which the Lord, the righteous judge, will award to me on that day, and not only to me, but also to all who have longed for his appearing." This is your moment of crowning, not because you conquered easily, but because you refused to quit. You did not let bitterness consume you. You chose belief instead. You did not let despair define you. You chose devotion. You carried your cross with trembling hands and hopeful heart. And now the crown fits perfectly. But remember, every crown is a calling. It's not the end of the story, it's the continuation of one. To wear the crown is to carry responsibility, to love deeper, to forgive quicker, to shine brighter. You are not being elevated for comfort. You are being entrusted for influence. The cross you bore was heavy, yet it shaped you into someone capable of compassion. You learned through tears what others learn through theory. That is why your words will carry healing now, because they are born from understanding. not judgment. The crown is not reward for suffering, it is recognition of transformation. The person you once were could not carry this weight. You had to be broken open to contain this much light. Your pain carved space for wisdom. Your surrender created room for strength. That's how heaven prepares. Chosen ones it refines before it reveals, humbles before it honors. And though you now walk in glory, never forget the ground beneath your feet. The same earth that held your tears will soon hold your triumph. Stay gentle. Stay grateful. Every victory you taste now belongs not just to you, but to everyone who will draw courage from your journey. You have become a living testimony, not of perfection, but of perseverance. Your life whispers to those still struggling. Keep going. It's worth it. You are the proof that faith works, that love heals, that God restores. Your existence itself preaches louder than any sermon could. The season ahead will not be without trials, but they will no longer shake you. You have learned how to rest even when the storm rages. The peace within you has become stronger than the pressure around you. That is the mark of a crowned one, calm in chaos, grace in motion, light undimmed by darkness. Do not mistake the stillness for stagnation. You are not stuck, you are sustained. Heaven is now establishing you, giving permanence to what once felt fleeting. This stability is your new, normal, steady progress. Grounded purpose, quiet joy. The journey has refined you into something sacred. You move differently now, slower, surer, softer. You no longer chase, you attract. You no longer fear endings, you welcome beginnings. Everything within you aligns with the rhythm of grace. Look back once more, just long enough to honor the path. See how far grace has carried you. You have walked through fire and emerged as light. You have climbed out of sorrow and discovered strength that cannot be shaken. You have carried the cross faithfully, now you carry the crown gracefully. There is beauty in this balance. You no longer need to prove who you are. Your peace proves it for you. The same God who guided you through valleys now walks beside you on mountain tops. The same voice that whispered comfort in darkness now sings celebration in daylight. And yet, even in glory, humility remains your crown's truest jewel. Because the higher you rise, the deeper your roots must go into gratitude. Remember where you came from. Remember who brought you through. Every breath you take in this new season is an offering, a song of thanks to the one who never left. You are not at the end. You are at the unfolding, the continuous becoming of what heaven saw from the beginning. Your story doesn't close with a crown, it continues with purpose. You will walk forward, not as one who merely survived, but as one who shines. This is the completion of what was promised, the merging of cross and crown, pain and purpose, faith and fulfillment. You are the living evidence that grace wins. Always. Before you leave this moment, take one last breath and look at how far you've come. Everything you've just read wasn't coincidence, it was confirmation. You were meant to be here, meant to hear this, meant to remember who you are. And now, you stand at the doorway of what's next. But before you step through, let's keep the light moving. When you like, when you share, when you comment, it isn't just support, it's participation. It's saying, I believe this message should travel further. Every small act becomes another spark that carries warmth to someone else, still searching for hope. Your words in the comments matter. They are like stones dropped into still water. One sentence of encouragement can ripple into another soul's awakening. Write what you felt, what you received, or simply a single word of gratitude. Let it be your echo of light in this shared space. And if your spirit leads you to do more, to donate or sow a seed, let it be an offering of love, not obligation. Think of it as feeding the fire that once fed you. Each gift keeps this flame alive, a quiet way of saying, let the light keep shining. You are not a spectator here. You are part of something living. Subscribe if you haven't yet. Stay connected to the current, because heaven speaks in sequences, not single moments. The next word might be the one that changes everything. What we're building together isn't content, it's connection. One act of faith, one share of light, one gesture of generosity at a time. Because somewhere, right now, someone's darkness is waiting for your spark. Be the reason their light begins again.